What is up and welcome back. We are your Emerald Coast relocation team, and what we're going to be doing today is telling you some stuff that we wish we knew before relocating into the Pensacola area.
All right, let's go.
If this is your first time watching Pete and Chelsea Sweeney, and what we'd like to do is help you guys with all those real estate needs when relocating into the Emerald Coast. So if you are planning on purchasing real estate here, give us a call or text the phone number right below. Right below right there, we always answer. It doesn't matter date or time.
And if you are not ready to make that phone call quite yet, no worries. Hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up if you like the video content here. And then also hit the notification bell so you're notified every single time we put out a new video.
All right, we are going to be going over 10 things that we wish we would have known before moving into Pensacola. That 10th one being something that affects us personally. It might not affect you, but it affects us personally. So stick around till the 10th one so you can figure out whether or not that's something that might rub you the wrong way as well.
All right, the first thing that we're going to be covering is that climate and hardiness, which the hardiness zone is definitely one thing I wish I knew, because when we moved to Florida, we thought we were going to get all the tropical things that make, moving to Florida so wonderful. Like all of the, palm trees and the hibiscus, is that what you wanted?
Yeah, I wanted hibiscus bushes, and it's like
this is the tropical
all the stuff. So like we have a property down in Clearwater, if you don't already know that, and it's just amazing. Like all the tropical stuff, they all look fake, and I'm like, this is fantastic.
So
this is so pretty and all that stuff. And we come here and we're like, I can't do that. I can't put that outside. I got to put that in a pot inside.
Wait, I have to wrap that with a blanket?
Yeah.
Or like, wait, pine needles? What do you mean I have pine needles that drop in every crevice of every little thing that we have?
Yeah, and the pine cones. Oh man, those things will eat your lawnmower.
And they're pokey. I wish that we knew that we were gonna have like these, almost like, we come from Colorado, so almost like these mountain type plant. Like, okay, did I ever think I'd be putting bamboo in? Nope, not even a little bit. Like, do I like bamboo? Sure, but that's not what I wanted to be surrounding my pool was bamboo. So we're getting used to like this change. Also, a lot of our plants absolutely love the humidity and all of it outside. The problem is if I put them in too big of a pot and let them do something, I have to bring them in the winter time. So you can't put them in a big pot unless Peter's gonna get his like two-wheeler out there and like roll it into the house for me. But it's just not the same as we thought.
Yeah, it's not the same. But with that being said, it's not bad. It's just something you're not, like I said, you can't plant the same stuff that you can down in Central and South Florida. But I mean, we found options where we're like, all right, cool, this one we can, this one we can't.
We found a palm tree.
We found a couple
that you
palm
don't have
trees
to like put in a blanket.
That you don't have to wrap and all this stuff that you need to do in the wintertime if there is a freeze. But so you can adapt easily, but it's just something that kind of blindsided us. We're like, oh, we didn't realize that we couldn't do certain things.
We had big plans in our backyard, didn't we?
Yep, we did.
And we were like, oh, just kidding. And then just be aware of how expensive palm trees can be.
Yep.
Because the ones that we really like were like $4,000. So. All right, going into the second thing we wish we knew, and that is the Pensacola housing. And I can kind of go on and on about this. I'll let you start.
I think a big reason why we wish we would have known this is where we came from. It is very new. There's a lot of new houses going up. Also on top of that, where we came from, there is a ton of 2-stories. So you pretty much see one ranch for every 5 2-stories down the street. That is not the case in Pensacola. It seems like everything is a ranch. Of course, you do get those older style Victorian houses that are beautiful, 2-stories. But the majority of your housing here is going to be ranch style housing.
Yeah, and this, now we do need to put a disclaimer here. If you were looking million plus, you're going to get a lot more options. There are going to be a lot more custom build homes, and a lot of these things aren't going to matter. But if you were under that $1 million price point, these are the things you're going to be running into. There are no big master plan communities. There might be like a little patch or one street of new homes, and then you will see new homes, custom homes built. You can have $1 million. So one of the things we talk about is how spotty it is, right? Yep. That's like the best way we can describe it. But you can have $1 million home here, and then a $500,000 home here, and then a $800 here, and then a $300,000. So it's really spotty. Whereas where we come from, you'd have all these new areas and lots. 104 houses in a small community of new homes, whereas like some of the other ones have like 300 plus in like a bigger community where they're all brand new homes. So
I just think what it all comes down to is Pensacola is pretty old when it comes to the housing. And if you watch one of our videos that we posted, I think it's about a week ago, we talked about this, how if you are looking for that newer construction or I still don't even consider the master plans here a master plan.
I don't either.
Because like the master plans that we've seen are amazing, like freaking multiple pools and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But you have to go to the outskirts, and so you have to go in the outlying areas of Pensacola. They just really aren't doing those master plans, those newer communities within the Pensacola area.
Yeah, so be prepared that if you are going to be looking for kind of a newer product, if you come from, you know, say California or some of the other areas that have these like new modern homes, you are most likely going to have to do custom build. Because we found that that's actually even better than kind of a new build street. I don't even want to call it a community, but like a little new build street or community. It's almost better to go custom. So just be aware, it's something we've had to kind of adjust our priorities and what's, you know, most important to us.
Yep. The third thing that we wish we would have known, and I think we've hit on this in a few other videos, is the gossip down here. You don't realize it until you start looking back and you're like, oh yeah, I know about that person, and then I know about that place and that restaurant and stuff. You start gathering all these separate things, and everyone has an opinion or something. So much so that like the church that like we didn't go to initially, but we ended up choosing to be our church, apparently it was called like the cult church or something like that. And we're like, well, maybe we do like a cult church, and it's nothing like a cult whatsoever. It's just a little bit more new age. No, I wouldn't even say new age, because it's not new age.
It's really not.
It's just, we like the band, right? The band's fantastic. We love all that stuff and whatever. But yeah, there's just this gossip thing that's always surrounding the area, and you're just, I don't get it. I don't know.
And I'm just going to take it one step further on that. It's not only just, you know, about this or this family or this restaurant, but sometimes it's Pensacola to Gulf Breeze to Pensacola Beach to like where you live in which city. They have an idea. Like you're like, or even Gulf Breeze to proper, you know, and those are, you got to go check out some of our like neighborhood videos. But those, like, even just saying like, oh, I'm in downtown Pensacola, like people have an idea about that.
Oh, they do.
You know? So anyways, that's enough about that. Let's get into the fourth one, which is going to be that small town feel. I did not know before moving here how small Pensacola was.
Yeah, I thought it was, you know, mediocre, you know, but we have like cities back home where they're just like suburb cities larger than Pensacola. And so it's like, yeah, you really don't understand how small Pensacola is until you experience Pensacola. But it's one of those things where it's like, you could take it as, I don't like that, or you could take it as, it's fantastic. It's a slower pace here, you know? And so us personally, like, we love the fact that it's so much slower of a pace. But with that small town too, it's like, you also don't get the traffic. You can get from one point to another without it being an hour or more. And so it's just one of those things. It's like, yeah, I don't want that small town feel, or yes, I do want that. I want to be able to travel and not have that huge congestion that I'm experiencing in these larger cities.
The other thing about small town is making friends. We come from a place where there isn't a lot of natives left, where I do think that Pensacola still has a lot of people who grew up here and or they were raised here and they came back here to raise their families. And so that is kind of hard if you are moving into Pensacola or any of the surrounding cities, because it is kind of hard to make friends as an adult, and it's even harder when these guys have been friends forever, like, and their parents are friends. And so it is nice that when there are other people moving into town also, you kind of find your group. But I don't know, it's been a little challenging because they all know each other, and it's just, they've got time on their side.
The fifth thing that we wish we would have known is that the food prices here aren't exactly what we thought they were going to be. And that's, I mean, we came from a place where whenever we traveled down to our property in Clearwater, it seemed like the prices were, I'd say, like 10 to 15% cheaper when we were going out to eat at restaurants and stuff like that. So we used to always go to our favorite Mexican restaurant down there, and I was like, man, it's so crazy cheap, that we got margaritas for this much and this food for this much. It was super cheap. That's just not the case in Pensacola. It's like, I feel like it's almost a little bit more expensive.
I think so too.
When you go out to a restaurant, as opposed back to call it like in Denver where we came from.
Yeah, so it's you would think that the smaller town would have more affordable prices than like the big hustling city, but that's not
what we experienced. I'm sure if you're coming from like LA, it's probably cheaper than like LA, because I heard LA prices are insane. But it's just, I wish they were a little bit cheaper. Yeah, I thought they were going to be.
And those margaritas, they definitely get a little pricey.
Oh, yeah.
All right, the sixth thing we wish we knew is the, how do I say this nicely? Infatuation with college sports.
Yeah.
We don't do college sports. Well, we do now. We jumped on that.
Oh, we
bandwagon.
had to. We're like, oh, where am I gonna go? You know,
yeah, we're like, oh, what are you guys doing on Saturday? Like, what do you mean? It's like college sports day. And we're like, oh, cool.
Guys, we went to the beach, right? Yeah. And we went to hang out, do our usual beach thing. Yeah. One of our friends like brought a TV down there to have all the college sports playing while we're on the beach. I was like, this is the thing.
It's like next level.
This is like a thing.
And we love them dearly, but we're like, is she carrying a TV? And we're like, sure is. Anyway, everyone was looking at us as we were walking by. We're like, see, we're locals now. We're locals. But anyways, the college sport thing, if you don't have a college team, you better find one, because otherwise you are going to be left out of all of the like fun things. Like, we're getting into fall now, right? You see my shirt, guys? I'm trying so hard to bring fall to Pensacola. It hasn't worked so far.
It's gotten cooler though. Let's be real. Like night times it started to cool down a little bit more. Now we're like in the low 80s. The breeze, you know, it's been pretty comfortable here lately.
But I'm really trying to bring on the fall. If you are looking for something to do on the weekends, it is now shifting from beach time to college sport time.
The seventh thing that we wish we would have known is some of these home life things that we really didn't experience. We came from a super dry state. So with moving down here, we had to deal with the humidity. We didn't realize what that humidity really brought. We had like the whole salt. You got to put rice in your salt. You do have to, like at first when we came here, I was like, we were a month in. I was like, oh, look, I don't have to put rice in my salt. And then it started gumping up a little bit. And you're like, okay, I definitely got to do it. And then you're like, your pre-workout was like crystallizing.
Oh my gosh, my pre-workout is a fine powder. And it's now like crystallizing in there. So anything that's fine that, you know, sugar and salt, anything like that. Sometimes your flour, if you use coconut flour, like those are things that you're going to have to get a little bit more in like the vacuum sealed and sometimes the containers that they come in.
Yeah. And then also a big thing that we ran into, it was literally the day we moved into our house, was we're like, why is there water all over the floor? And so here, the furnaces, what they do is the drain lines build up with like an algae and it clogs it. And so that drain, when it's supposed to be draining water out, if you don't have, some of them have systems like our other house that's Airbnb has a system that'll shut the system down. The one here doesn't. And so it's like water flooded all over because that line was clogged. Brought it up to Trent, you know, he's a local expert here. He's like, oh yeah, he's like, that's something that like quarterly you have to vacuum out your line, or they have a solution that you pour down it to keep it from doing that. But we didn't experience anything like that in Colorado. I was like, holy crap, what is this I have to do? And so now like I do, you know, typically every other month now, but you have to vacuum that line out to make sure that algae is not blocking it up.
The other thing with algae really quick is, you know, you're going to have to get power washed, your house get power washed. So with the reclaimed water in the sprinkler system, all the way down to just our rain and having the humidity, that makes it kind of harder for that to dry up. And so we get a lot of algae. So you're going to be power washing your house at least once a year to make sure that that's not building up and kind of breaking down the materials of your house. And with landscaping, the grass is really different down here. And there's a lot of different grasses. Like we have 2 different grasses. Even in our front yard. And learning how to take care of this. So we didn't know until we were getting a new palm tree, and Peter refused to move down here without a palm tree in his front yard. So he put in a new, well, we didn't. We had people put in a new palm tree. I was talking to him about the grass, and he goes, oh yeah, you know, this grass you're going to want to keep longer, more like a big carpet, and this grass is like our best grass, and you can do that a little shorter. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what? Why is there so many different grasses?
It's a thing though too, like the grass you're supposed to keep longer, it feels like a pillow. Like when you keep it super long and it's like it's all squishy and stuff, a lot squishier than regular grass, and so something that we really didn't realize.
The other thing is, since we talked a little bit about food keep, let's talk about food availability, because we come from a place where you can get any type of vegetable, or I mean, yes, there's seasons, and they just might not be as good.
It's just discounted, right? Like during season, it's like, oh, it's strawberry season because it's cheaper. But outside of that, it's pretty much available all the time.
Yeah, and like Brussels. When we first moved here, we couldn't find Brussels, and I was like, do you guys not have Brussels? And then the other one was, well, obviously green chilies.
Don't break my heart.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna break my heart.
I'm sorry.
We don't have green chilies here, guys.
We don't have green chilies.
Colorado, New Mexico, Wyoming, like we love our green chili.
Yeah.
And here I was like, it's all right. We can get down there. I'll just make my green chili.
Yeah, well, like we buy.
And then I'm looking all over. I was like, wait, you guys don't sell green chilies? Hatch green chilies. Apparently, it's something that's unique to like Colorado, New Mexico area.
All right, the 8th thing that we wish we knew was the marine life. If you don't know, my background is nursing, and I was super excited to learn about marine life, but I honestly thought I was gonna be learning about it just like for the beauty of it and not how to like survive in it. And so I know that sounds dramatic. However, we've already had multiple jellyfish stings, and we even had one of our little guys, what was it, a catfish?
Yeah,
like,
the catfish, they sting like a stingray. They got little stingers. If you go to grab them, and they got them like on their one of their fins or whatever, you went to grab it, and his hand like swelled up like crazy. And so something that we didn't expect, like I was like, holy, like the jellyfish. Here's the thing: is when I was growing up, I remember my cousin. Like everyone was talking about how she got stung by a jellyfish, and it was a huge deal and stuff like that. Here, it's just kind of like, oh man, jellyfish. And it's like it's not that big of a deal, you know. Even your kids come out like, I think I got stung by a jellyfish. It's not that big of a thing, you know. And so jellyfish, you just kind of get used to them. I just didn't realize that they were that common up here to where it's like you just casually run into them from time to time.
So real quick, because we just had a yellow flag day. It had a yellow flag on top, which kind of shows like how, you know, the wind and the wave conditions and all of that. Then we had a purple flag, and I just learned that purple flag is marine life. So when we talk about this jellyfish thing, just because the one jellyfish isn't a big deal here or there, on Purple Day, you should probably not be swimming out there because there's jellyfish everywhere, and there's different species of jellyfish. We were looking, we're like, that looks different than that one. And so learning this marine life, not only to enjoy it, but also to like just make sure that I can take care of our babies if we are going to be exploring in it, is something I wish I knew.
The ninth thing that we wish we would have known before relocating in the Pensacola area is the seafood eating, right? And what does that mean? So we came from a state that had lakes. We had trout, you know. Trout. So it's like you eat your trout, or sometimes you get a brookie or some crap like that. Here, everyone knows their fishes.
Oh my God, they know
like,
their fish.
Oh yeah, the guppy or this now. I'm like, which one's the whiter one? I'm like trying to get it down.
I don't know. What's the white one?
Yeah.
We're like,
So we just like, I wish I would have educated myself a little bit on these saltwater fish. That way it's like, we kind of know what to order and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And also fishing in general. Like, I don't know how to saltwater fish. I'm trying to learn right now. But at the same time, it's like, I wish I would have like taken some classes.
Actually, one of our clients, if you're watching, he's moving here with his wife, and he's like a good fisherman. We're like, hi.
We might be best friends.
I know we're friends because we need like just learning all the people who move within kind of different inner cities of Florida and all the fishing. And it's like, man, it's so cool. Like not only from eating it, but also, well, actually eating it's a big deal because a lot of the restaurants, especially if you're going from Pensacola over to Pensacola Beach, are going to be fresh caught fish, or you can catch fish and bring them into the restaurants to be cooked. So I just wish we knew a little. So we are going to be diving in. Maybe we'll do a video if you want to see.
We'll do a recap. Video. It's like how much we think we're experts on eating the fish in Pensacola now, or something like that.
If you want to see that, you go down below, or if you know a lot about fish, please teach us down below too. But yeah, I wish we knew, because when we're ordering things and it looks like it's really expensive fish, we're like, well, is it just because it's like fresh fish, and like, is that a good fish? So learning about that is definitely going to be on our to-do list. All
right, if you stuck around this long, we are going to dive into our personal things that we experienced that we wish we knew before we relocated to Pensacola. I think the biggest one being is they don't have wrestling here, guys. Like they do, but like Colorado, where we came from, big, huge wrestling. Like you got the Midwest area that's like big wrestling. We come down here like, we go to tournaments. They're like 2 hours away, but we know we'll do that. And it's like you have like one club, and you're like, where's the other club? The other club's 20 miles away? Holy crap. And so that's just a thing that kind of blindsided us, because we are a huge wrestling family with our son.
Yeah, I think the big ones down here are going to be your football, soccer, and baseball.
Well, I think basketball. They said the lacrosse is picking up quite a bit down here. But I think baseball, soccer, and football are probably the biggest ones.
Biggest ones.
The other thing too, guys, is since it is a small town, there's no Costco. This thing is killing us right now. We're so used to Costco. We got membership to Sam's Club. You know, it does all right. You know, it's not Costco, but it does all right.
It's not Costco. Actually, this Sam's Club is a lot nicer than some of the other Sam's Clubs I've been to in Pensacola. Pensacola's is better than some of the others in other states that we've been to, but I just really miss Costco. The other thing is specialty diets. I just recently went back home to visit my family, and it was so funny. We went out to dinner. They're like, oh, I'll take this gluten-free. Oh, and can you remove this, this, and this?
Like dairy-free.
Yeah, dairy-free. Oh, I'm actually, like, they're like, is this a preference or is it an allergy? And like, it's like a thing. You come down here, and actually my mom came here, and she was like, oh, can I do this with the onions? And they're like, no. And she's like, oh, why not? So it's just the specialty diets, like most people are not that picky down here, and I'm sure that like some of the higher end restaurants will allow you to do that, but for the most part it's like
I actually like it, because I feel like it felt like the ordering process in Colorado would be so freaking long, because everyone had all their list of stuff, and usually came to me, I was like, burger and fries, boom, done, you know. It's like, so I enjoy it. I'm like, you don't have to order up all your specialty crap and stuff, and
I just miss like a nice salad without all these weird things on it. I don't know. Like down here it is southern food. If you like fried food, you're good. If you like fish, also you're good. Seafood and fried food. If you like those things, you're good. If you're vegan or vegetarian, like you're gonna have to go find some things. I'm not either of those two things. But I'm just saying I do like to order off that menu sometimes, and there are no menus like that. All right, we have talked about a lot of different things we wish we knew. We still absolutely love the Emerald Coast, and these are all minor things, but we've talked about 10 things. So if this is something that you are liking, please hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and hit the notification bell so you're notified every single time we put out a new video.
And of course, guys, if you are looking to purchase some real estate here in the Emerald Coast today, more specifically Pensacola, give us a call or text that phone number right below. Right below right there, we always answer. It doesn't matter day or time. Till next time, love you. Bye.
Bye.